We're live, which is not the best moment for me to bring up. Like every time I see it's a different pattern and it's just like freshly shaved
Oh,
hair.
yeah, I'm going by Rob Van Winkle now, which
No,
is
no, 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 no. There's no winkle in it. It's like Rob Van Juice Ice or like Rob Van Skateboarder or something. Like there's something like you would have beaten me up when I was young for sure.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm wearing my bully facial hair.
It's freshly kempt hair.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Django.
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting
Stop.
yourself?
You're a bully. This has just been a big bully thing. Django, did you hear about the news today?
Uh,
I haven't
gosh,
tested it yet, but I've heard about some news.
like that, like Kim Jong
No one
is
knows.
it.
There's no answer about that yet. We don't know what that is. So no, there is no news regarding that. And I don't
Oh,
think that we
okay.
should be the first people cracking that on the comic book media website. So Django, I'm being told that if I go to Diamond's homepage right now, right?
Uh-huh.
If I go to Diamond, the primary distributor of comic books forever,
Right.
you could say, if I go there and go to the FOC section, which is the section where I normally go to manipulate my orders when comics are available, when
Okay.
there are comics that people can order, which there hasn't been for 5, 6 weeks.
1,000 years.
Exactly. It's been many thousands of years.
It's 1 month today.
I'm being
Today's the
told
25th. Yeah.
that if I go to the FOC where I can tweak my orders, there will be items on a list with empty boxes next to them with zeros where I will be able to put new quantities next to titles of books that have not come out yet. And after I do that, those books will come in here.
Dude.
I've clicked the button. It says on May 20th. May 20th. It
This
says
is, you know what this is?
revelatory.
This is almost as exciting as getting new comics.
This is the
We can
second
order new
time
comics.
in history comics have started. There was the first time, which no one remembers because there was the Nothing Times and then there was a newspaper.
Right.
And there's this time. This is a historic moment. There are new comics where until this moment there have not been any.
It's pretty amazing.
Look
And
at this. Anti-hero trade paperback. Okay, it is all DC I'm seeing. It's all DC. Do you know about that?
yeah,
Have you heard about
DC,
this?
yeah, DC's leading the charge.
Okay, leading the charge. Absolute Day Tripper. That's good. We've literally been ordering that for almost 2 years.
Yep.
And it keeps being canceled. And now when I finally feel like I can buy a Day Tripper at an employee discount, it's coming out at the time where the store has no money to be able to afford Absolute Day Trippers.
I want you to get me one.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get some Absolute Day
We
Trippers.
need some Absolute Day Trippers.
Absolute Day Trippers. Look at that. Anti-hero. Third printing's of Batman 89. So DC knows they know what we need.
Yeah, they're on the cutting edge.
We need that third.
Is Daphne Byrne in there?
Daphne Byrne number 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing
Nice.
a previous order number and a box where I can put a number that I'm sure will be lower than the previous order number.
Maybe. I mean, we sent out a blast email to a bunch of people today, and we're getting a lot of thumbs up from people that still want to get their comics. So,
You know what's on this list?
no, what is on that list?
Batman Last Night on Earth hardcover.
It looks gorgeous.
You know what I heard today? I heard that somebody tried to place orders for All-Star Superman paperbacks through the store like a couple weeks ago, and we ran out. We've been without All-Star Superman for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we've been out without All-Star Superman for a while. It's kind of a weird position to be in. You know, it's really cool. On that list of DC books, there's a Green Lantern season 2 cover that I think is one of my favorite covers I've seen on that series.
Listen,
it's a more painterly version of it.
Recently we were talking about how sad we were that DC's Unkillables was one of the books that was not coming out because of all this. It's here. It's going to be here on May 20th if we order any, which we haven't yet, because that's dangerous when you don't know how many people for sure want them. It's dangerous. Green Lanterns, probably this B cover here.
Yeah, the one with the trade dress on it. Super cool.
Like the classic looking one where he's just kind of defending?
Yeah, just like cool guy Hal Jordan.
But I don't think we've been looking at the same B covers for the Green Lantern books. I think that's pretty par for the course, except for the first issue, which had a Frank Quitely one. Okay. Ex Machina Compendium, Volume 1. Never had that before. Never had Brian K. Vaughan, the writer of Saga and Why the Last Man's very popular series Ex Machina, in a deluxe paperback size where people could, in quarantine, buy that and read a huge amount of Brian K. Vaughan they never read. Never had that before. Do we order that?
I don't know, man. It's really good. That book has been out of print for a while.
These are the questions that I would ask myself and then order these books
under normal circumstances.
And under normal circumstances. And with an amount of confidence in a willingness to be wrong because there was the safety net of money.
Yeah. Well, we should tell people who are watching that they can see these covers if they go to shop.thecomicsplace.com and click on in the header. There's a link to pre-orders for April 27, and that's got a list of all these covers, all the DC books that we can order. And I heard that we're going to get more added to that list on Monday for release on the 27th of May.
Good Lord.
There's going to be like a 3-hour window for us to figure out order numbers for that second wave, because we have to have our orders in Monday afternoon or evening.
Are you telling me that my job just got harder?
I would say 10 times harder.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, at least they've got Nightwing number 72nd printings.
I love that cover.
Yeah, Joker. Not a lot to do. Not a lot to do with either the Nightwing series or the Batman series, which I'm very excited to be reading James Tynion IV's Batman series again, because I just don't really remember what was going on in it. The architect, the planner, and the plans. The planner and the plans.
But number 92 is going to come out a long time from now, right? Like June or July. Yeah.
I could have told you vaguely what was going on in the Tom King one at any point as it was coming out. And, Jimmy TIV. Speaking of Tom King, Omega Men by Tom King. I got a text message from somebody today asking me if they needed to know a lot of back issue stuff going into Omega Men by Tom King.
I didn't know anything. I'm about halfway through. I didn't know anything going into it, and I don't know what you could have known for that story. It just kind of thrusts you into the middle of a bunch of characters doing some crazy stuff. It's more of like a military coup saga than a superhero action comic.
Okay.
I liked it so far.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the least celebrated of his work, which is not, I'm not saying this is not a good book, but it seems like all of his work is pretty celebrated at this point.
Yeah.
What do you think is the least celebrated Tom King book?
Probably that. Maybe what was his? Yeah, Grayson doesn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah,
which is weird. And I haven't read it either, but I'll bet that it's good. It's him and Tim Seeley.
Superman Smashes the Klan trade paperback.
Listen, I've got a note here from our producer.
Oh.
We can show the page of our of on the website if we want to show people what we're looking at.
I'm going through Diamond's website, but if you want to pull up these things as I am spontaneously pulling gold out of this FOC order that I have yet to amend at all. Jimmy Olsen. New issues. Jimmy Olsen. Matt Fraction. Can you imagine a world where we'll be able to order new comics that are not just DC comics, but are in fact all of the comics?
Yeah, that's going to be wild.
Good thing we love DC.
Let's see.
It wouldn't be nearly as exciting without that.
If everybody's looking at our video, we're looking at the home page of the website right now.
I heard nope, actually.
Hello. Nice.
Hello.
Oh, hey, producer. No, we want to look at the site that you were looking at, and if you just click on the Yeah, if we click on the pre-orders link up at the top, then we'll be able to look at the pre-order items.
Good Lord. Transmetropolitan Book 3.
It's time.
Being
It's about time.
collected in a reasonable way. 2 of the smaller publishing formats and a larger one, the books. They've been coming out. We've gotten people to be buying them. It would be crazy to not order any of those, Django. And yet, no one has, if I were to normally order them, I would order 6, but no one has them specifically ordered.
Yeah, it's tricky.
So what do we do? What do we do?
I think we order low and hope that we can get reorders pretty quickly.
No. Phase 2 is now me filling out this order. Absolute Day Tripper. 10. We get to order them now.
100.
10. I'm going to put 10 in.
Oh, God.
Adventures of Superman by George Perez hardcover. Wouldn't normally order that. 2. We can get it.
We can get it. Who wants it? Tell us if you want it.
If you build it, they will come.
That's the answer.
Anti-hero. Don't know what this is. 6? I don't know. It looks all ages. 7? Batman 89 third printing. 10?
I think we can go pretty low on that.
10? 5?
We have a bunch of first printings in stock right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Batman and the Outsiders at all? Are you talking me down? Are you deflating my balloon? Just a second. Let me sit. Hey. Deceased Unkillables. I know we're both excited about that. Now, listen, it looks like we ordered in total 29 copies of the 3 different covers of number 2. I want to point out a couple of things. First, it's been a long time since we could get comics.
That's true.
Second, we can get these comics.
We can get the heck out of these comics.
So, is 50 conservative? 29 across 3 covers last time. Is 52 conservative?
I think it depends on how many people we have confirming that they're still grabbing their subscriptions.
So what you're doing is you're reining me in.
I'm encouraging.
I think I can find one. Just a second. I think I can find one.
All right.
Okay. I want to use Metalman in here somewhere, but I do think that it is, even on its best days, still just Roman.
I have our subscription list.
I don't think they all want to be outed. I think I can think of at least 2 of what I think are 4 other people that read it based on our orders.
Let's see. We have. You're right. We have 4 people. No, I would never. We have 4 plus Roman.
Right.
Because Roman just reads it.
You got to take care of your own. Let's see here. Plunge. Superman smashes the Klan.
We haven't done like a full story or like a full podcast on Superman smashes the Klan.
On the first one of our quarantine episodes, that was when I had read it. So I talked a little bit about it.
We talked
I both did, but we didn't do like a special on it.
It's excellent.
I did have one of our customers today text me and say like, hey, I can't get All-Star Superman. That's how I know we don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want a good Superman story. And I was like, Superman for All Seasons and then Superman Smashes the Klan are like, I think my 3 absolute go-to Superman stories at this point. Am I missing one? I throw Final Crisis in there, but I can't actually put that in there realistically.
I mean, I always put Red Sun into people's hands at the same time. Just like these are like 3 solid Superman stories. Yeah.
Is Superman Red Sun? I almost put it on my list because it's a very good story. Is it a good Superman story? I just watched the animated movie made out of it. And like, it doesn't necessarily highlight why Superman is awesome, if I can remember correctly, but it's a really good story. So I guess, what does that make you think?
It's a Superman story that I'm interested in reading.
Right.
Which is a different Superman story than you're interested in reading. I would also put the what was that 7-issue Superman run, American Alien?
Oh yeah,
I think that's probably the best Superman like series outside of All-Star Superman that I've ever read.
I guess my point is, it is a Superman story I'm interested in reading. But if the question is a good Superman comic,
right?
I guess I am interpreting that as like, what is a good example of what is best about Superman distilled? And I think
that's All-Star.
It is, yeah, and we don't have it. So, but I mean, I guess I went through an internal battle earlier today of, do I put Superman Red Sun on this list?
Right.
And now I'm asking for your help, Django. Pull me out of the mud like you will as we put all these orders into this number here very high.
If somebody says to me, what's a Superman comic to read? Red Sun, All-Star Superman, American Alien, and Superman for All Seasons are the 4 that I'll hand them.
I think that Superman Red Sun needs a discussion about it. I think we should read that.
All right. I'll read it.
I think we need to talk about it. I don't know. It's just not, it's not resting. I agree with everything that you're saying, and yet I feel on some level like I haven't resolved the issue. So
it's almost like a Batman story about Superman.
Yeah, or like a story in which Superman is in it. I was almost tempted to put DC New Frontier on that list, but I was like, no, he's in it, and it perfectly displays what I think people need to know about Superman in it, but he's not in it enough for me to call it a Superman story. So again, that gets that conversation of like, what is a Superman story? Is it a story that distills the idea of what that character is, or is it a story that is entertaining in which he is in it? And they're not exactly the same thing. Third printings of Hell Arisen #3, first non-Jaw appearance of Punchline. Right?
Yeah, you're 100% right.
We're getting 3 printings of Batman 89 because you get a jaw.
Yep.
This is more than that.
Yeah, you get like shoulders or something.
You know what I think is interesting about this list of books that they've given to us is they've zeroed out everything except for some things. Like they still have us down for 8 copies of Superman Smashes the Klan, which I think should be 16 now that we can get it. Django, we can order new comics and they're on this screen. We could order them. And isn't that what this is about? David White would say, live on the frontier of your life. This is what we go to therapy about. We can do it.
We can do a lot of things, Jeff. We can do a lot of things in our lives.
Okay.
And if one of those things is ordering 16 copies of Superman Smashes the Klan or third printings of Batman 89, those are absolutely things that we can do.
I agree with you. We can do it. We can.
Should we leave an amount of this up to the viewer, the listener?
Okay.
The fans?
Okay.
Do you want us to kill Robin?
Okay, not that, because Robin is very good. And he's had his days. And in fact, I'm almost starting to question whether or not it's all one guy, you know?
Yeah.
It just seems like, how could he have gotten out of that crowbar thing without any bruises? Jeff wants to order a lot of comics. You know why? Because they're here and we can, and I miss them. I want to hug them. I want to get them in the boxes and look at. I want to open them up and read them. Django seems to be a bit of a
Django wants to order exactly the perfect amount of comics.
Now, listen, that's what Jeff has said for all of the years we've known each other until now.
Paradigm flip.
Okay. Game on. Okay, so what do we need from the listeners then?
Well, first, I think to avoid having this same conversation in 1 week when Marvel probably announces that they've got comics coming out, and then in 2 weeks when Dark Horse and Image do the same, I think that we should encourage people to tell us if they want to keep their subscriptions going.
Okay.
More importantly, tell us
how do they do that?
Well, they could email us to info@thecomicsplace.com. They could go to shop.thecomicsplace.com and send us a message through the website. They could go to Facebook, and we have a new thread going on with these DC books linked, and you could comment on there. You could send us a Facebook message. Please don't just tell us on Instagram, because I'm really bad at checking that one.
So here's my fear. My fear is that we are only going to get a handful of people who've done the work to reach out to us and tell us that they want to get their comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And then you and I are going to be sitting here on Monday when the order is due, and you're going to be talking me down from my 16 copies of Superman Smashes the Klan. And I want those 16 copies, but I also want that weird Green Lover B cover that you were saying was a very unusual one that I don't think is. Everyone get on there. Look at that B cover, and then look at the other B covers from the 12-issue series that led up to it, and tell me if it's that different.
I like it.
That's
great. A good cover.
That's a great cover. Have you seen the 8 cover? Green Lantern Season 2, number 3. And we're talking about the Scott Williams variant edition, which is also just the B cover. So if you were to take a look at your Green Lantern Season 2, there's going to be 2 covers there. The second one, Django seems to think is a sort of like a special new setup, like a new one.
I just like it. I think it looks good.
Listen, Jeff, get off my back. I like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I support you, Django.
We do have that's so that's the cover A. That one's fine. That's a pretty good cover that we're looking at. And we'll probably see the cover B in a second here.
I don't get to see that. I don't know what screen they're talking about. So Django, I laugh when you laugh.
That's oh gosh. I just like the colors. The reds are so good. The green is good.
And the A color?
In the one with the Green Lantern with the text on it.
But I think we're looking at different ones. Are you talking about the red one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the A cover.
That's a good cover.
That's a great cover, bud.
Yeah.
There we are.
Well,
listen, miscommunication there.
I think that the trick to this whole ordering thing, and the trick to keeping me from having to talk you down and then you from having to talk me down in this weird Ouroboros that we keep ending up in
of emotional regulation
during the coronavirus action. I think that the secret is getting people to get a hold of us and tell us what's going on with their file and what they want and what we can do for them. And most importantly, what they don't want, because we're not going to be able to order extras at this point, because we also want to have the budget to order in 3 weeks.
I think that's the most important thing to mention is, in general, when I order comics, I do it under the assumption that everyone who claims that they want to get their comics will pay for their comics. And that is, even at its best, there's a margin of error there. And because of where we're at with coronavirus and everything, we can't just order in good faith that everything that we order is going to be picked up. So we do really need to kind of start over with everyone and just clarify what are the things that you want to get. And how many third printings of Batman 89 do we get? How many Absolute Day Trippers do we get? But even more than that, like how many Daphne Burns do we get, or Harley Quinns do we get that are on this list? Flash 753. There's a lot of things that normally we would order a number on based on our subscribers. And I think both of us have a suspicion that the number that we'll actually sell now is going to be a little bit less than that. So we're asking everyone to reach out if they can, if they're getting this. Tell us what books you're getting or what books you want to get. And we're trying to make it as easy on everyone as we can. Django, the link on Shopify, makes it so you can see the covers, you can look at your subscriptions, you can prepay for them is the best thing for us. But even just letting us know that you do intend to get these books and that you want them is something that everyone that comes into our store could do right now that would be an enormous help for us, because Django and I spent 45 minutes on the phone this morning just sort of like talking,
rolling around in it
and getting nothing done. So any help we could get would be fantastic. And that is us asking for help. And I think that there's some cool things on this list. Everyone should look at this list. Aside from the issues that you would normally get, there's just some great collections that I think would really help tide people over. Superman Up in the Sky, Tom King's Up in the Sky Superman story. And then we also need to get an order together of All-Star Superman, things that we're sold out of. So if you're listening to this right now and you've tried to order anything in the last couple of weeks and you weren't able to get it, give us a heads up. Send us an email at info@thecomicsplace, or give the store a call. Probably don't do that. And we'll get some more of that stuff back in the store, because we are running low on the stuff that we have in stock.
Yeah. And I've been responding to emails all evening since I got the sent out a blast email to people who had stuff in their files.
Wait, so you've known about these new books longer than me?
Yeah, I didn't want to scare you.
Oh my God.
So I'm trying really hard to respond to every single email that comes in so that people know that I got their message, and just make sure that everybody's real clear on whether they're subscribed to their things or not, because we're going to have to make some guesses, and the fewer guesses we have to make, the better for everybody.
And when you're disappointed, like when Django tells me that we can only order 10 Superman Smashes the Clan, try not to get upset with us in the same way that I will try not to get upset at Django, who looks just like the coolest Fred Durst cosplay I've ever seen. Man, don't beat me up.
I'm gonna
I'll give it all for the Nookie. Yeah, the Nookie. That's your jam, man.
So my bully in junior high spit chewed up peanut butter sandwich on my arm one day and then told me that he was going to beat me up after school. So I stayed in the shop class and hid out until he definitely left.
Do you think that he did hang out to beat you up?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Who followed up on that stuff as a kid?
His name was Jeff. I don't remember his last name, but his name was Jeff, but he spelled it with the G.
Oh my God. That's why you give me a little bit more respect than I deserve.
Yeah, you spell your name like the nice guy.
This Jeff was just paving the way for me 30 years ago or whatever.
Don't spit on me, Jeff.
Don't give me peanut butter or a reason to. All right, Django. Well, listen, I'm going to peruse through this list. I'm going to pretend I have, access to these comics right now, get anticipated for it. Monday's the day we're placing the order. Could you put some sort of like a time clicker clock up on the Shopify thing so people know exactly how much time they don't have?
It's done.
You are good.
I know.
You're good.
I know.
Thank you.
2:00 on Monday is when we need to know what people's orders are for those books that are on the website. And yeah, I'm glad you asked me if we could do a quick video chat tonight, Jeff.
I thought that we were going to get to order all the comics, and then you said no. So
you want to live stream that when we do it?
Sure.
It'll just be screaming.
We're certainly going to live stream when the comics come in.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be what happens when two comic rats finally get to stop their comic fast. All right,
everybody.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, Jeff.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe.